What is up, and welcome back to Cozy Talks. It is finally here, the event that we've all been waiting for. UFC Seattle, Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya versus Joe Body Bags Pyfer. Oh man, am I excited for this one.
Mm,
How you feel about it, Joe?
I'm super stoked. We're gonna be there. So if you guys are gonna be there, let us know in the comments below. Uh, Maybe we can do a little meetup or something. But I'm excited, man. Card starts at 2 p.m. Prelims. Doors open at 1, so we're gonna get there early. Try and get some merch. Hoping it's something different from last time we were there. 13 fights on the card as it stands right now. Uh, I think they all look really good. I think these fights are gonna be closer, a lot closer than people think. But before we get into it, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and drop a like, comment, share, do whatever you got to do. Go check out the other platforms to do the same there. Really appreciate it. With that being said, let's get into UFC Seattle. So, first fight of the night is the girls going at it. Alexi Tainar, Bruna Brazil, 2. For those that don't know, these girls have fought before. It was on an early promotion. Alexis Tainara, uh, she's 13-1. That one is from Bruna Brazil. Bruna Brazil was like 21 years old when it happened. I'm just going to show it real quick. Guillotine choke here, round 3 on the 35 promotion, 2019. Tainara was like 21. Okay. We're talking about a young Tainara there. My pick in this one is Alexa Tainara. I think what we've seen out of her UFC run has been very impressive. I think she's improved ever since that loss. I think her submission game has gotten a lot more fluid. I think she's gonna be the smaller fighter in the size wise. Bruna Brazil has a 2-inch height on her, but I think Alexa Tainara is gonna make up for that with her ground game. I think she's gonna be very smothering. Bruna Brazil on the other side, she's win loss, win loss, win loss. I mean, looking at the pattern, she is due for a win, whatever. But she did not look impressive whatsoever in that Souza fight. She was my pick against Kelvin Souza when they fought. Kelvin Souza kind of just wrapped her up and really just smothered her, outstruck her, and every time they exchanged on the feet. Um, yeah, give me Alexa Tainara to get this one done, either by decision or by decision. So by decision or decision, submission or decision, I think is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Joe. I got Alexia Tainara. I think she could get it done inside the distance, but overall, I think she'll win this fight on the judges' scorecards if she can't get it done. One thing I do want to mention is this fight got changed 4 different times,
Yeah.
or three different times. It started off with Nicole Calari versus Carol Foro.
Jeez, that's right.
Calari Calari withdrew, and then Stephanie Luciano stepped in to fight Foro. Foro withdrew. Stefiano was matched up against Alexia Tarnara, and then Luciano withdrew. So now we're getting Alexia Tarnara
Jeez.
versus Bruna Brazil, and I think this will be a really fun fight. I'm actually glad that this is the outcome.
Mm,
We're getting a little bit of a, I feel like a more of a real prospect fight. I mean, Bruno Brazil does train with the Fighting Nerds, which is a very well respected gym. But Alexa Tainara, man, I mean, after watching her last few performances, she just looks really great. She looks like she's on the higher level of MMA. And yeah, she has that one loss, and it is against Bruno Brazil. But like you had mentioned, she was real young. She was real young
yeah.
in her career. I would say, obviously the rear naked choke she got Alexia Tarnara, she got off of Molly McCann. That's very impressive. But the fact that she won, she beat
Lu- Lu-
Lukumbe,
yeah,
Lukumbane,
Lubonme.
Labunme. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm terrible with fucking names, bro. But yeah, that was a really impressive win. Lakumbe is a very hard out. She is not a easy win. So give
Mm.
me Alexia Tarnara in this fight. But moving on to our next fight,
Sorry, one thing
which
I wanted to
is
note before we moved on. So Tainara is
oh, sorry,
ranked.
sorry.
You're good. Tainara is ranked. She's number 13. I just looked up the rankings real quick. She's number 13. Brimstill's not ranked. So this is more of
Hmm.
a defend your position for Tainara. Get your get back. Move on. I think she gets Jessica Andrade in her next fight. I think Jessica Andrade is probably it's probably ready to retire. I mean, she's young. She was a former champ, but I mean, she's just been through a lot. I think she's ready to just call it a career. I mean, she's fighting. She's not fighting very often. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, what were you saying? Moving on.
Yeah, moving on to the next fight, Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez. We get Ricky Simone again in UFC Seattle, which I'm very happy about. I mean, last time he was fighting in Seattle, he got the knockout win over Javid Bashrat, which
No one predicted.
no one.
We were
I
on the
mean,
Boschrat side.
I really wanted Simone to win, but I didn't expect him to get the knockout like that. It was crazy to
Yeah.
see. Fucking climate pledge erupted. I'm hoping to see the same thing here. I know Ricky Simone's coming off that loss against Rayoni Barcelos, but Adrian Yanez, man, I just would my thing about this is that Yanez, I don't think he's as active as Simone has been. You know, Simone has that win over, in my opinion, a pretty good prospect, Cameron Smotherman, and obviously that knockout over Javid Basharat. I mean, both these guys are the same in their last five, two and three.
Mhm.
But Ricky Simone, he's coming off that loss 4 months ago, and Yanez, he's coming off that loss against Daniel Marcos almost a year and 3 months ago. You know what I mean? So I know Yanez. He kind of has those nasty leg kicks, and he is a good striker. But I feel like Ricky Simone, I feel like he'll be comfortable in this fight. I don't think Yanez will really be initiating a whole lot of the grappling. I think it'll be more on Ricky Simone's side.
Mhm.
So I think Ricky Simone will be able to implement that, the way he fucking. I mean, I hope he mixes it up because Ricky Simone kind of does the same thing in almost every fight where he throws that overhand right and then ducks down and try to goes for a single leg and then pushes you up against the cage, works you up against the cage. I mean, it works, but I don't know.
Yeah.
One thing I really hope to see here though is a Ricky Simone finish. I mean, in Seattle again. Oh, that'd be the chef's kiss right there. So
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a hometown buff going for him in this one. I think he's gonna come in with a little more pep in his step. He's gonna be a little more juiced. Yeah, my pick of this one's Ricky Simone, and I think he gets it done by decision. This is a short notice fight. Just want to mention that. Yeah, these guys weren't even on the card originally. They were one of the later ads. That's yeah. Like I said, last time I saw Ricky Simone out, he fought. What was he 14-0 at the time? 14-0 Javid Bashrat smoked him down in the first round. Made Climb Pleasure repped. Yanez, who you just talked about, lost to Daniel Marcos over a year ago on a split. It's a tough ask for Yanez in this one. Step in short notice. I think the longer this stays on the feet, I think the more success he could have. I like his strikes a little more than Simone. Um, I think Simone really does have to mix it up and really make it dirty along the cage, getting a lot of clinches and keep it close. Take away a lot of the striking that Yanez could put on him. Simone doesn't have like super good takedown ability, but I think he will probably have a bit of success in this one. Yanez does have a good takedown defensive rate as well, but I think if Simone were to go in there and do what he does best, which is just make it a dirty fight, I think he could find himself in a lot of dominant positions if this does hit the mat. So
yeah.
yeah. Moving into the next fight. We got Navajo Sterling, Bruno Lopez. Navajo Sterling 8-0, Bruno Lopez 14-2. My pick in this one's Navajo Sterling. I've kind of decided to get away from putting my expectations of what I want from him. I have him by knockout in this one, but I'm obviously like a decision is totally possible, especially after watching UFC London card where we think it feels like a layup. This doesn't really feel like a layup. I mean, his two knockout losses were Brandon Ribeiro. That was a bad one on Kinetic Theories, but his last one was Dustin Jacoby, and Jacoby is kind of coming into his own right now, so it's a little different. Navo Sterling, I'm just not sure what we're gonna see yet. We haven't seen a knockout since he doesn't have a knockout. His Kinetic Series was his only knockout, but he's been decisions ever since, and it's been against guys who we thought he might knock out. Um,
Yeah,
we're kind of there
yeah, I
there
mean,
again. So
and to be fair, I mean, some of the competition that Sterling has fought, Tukos, Urslan, and Bellotto, those are all hard outs in my
mhm,
opinion. Those aren't easy. Those aren't finishes. I mean, have
yeah,
those dudes been finished before? Yes, they have.
hmm
But at the same time, especially with some of these last fights that we've been seeing, I mean, it's I don't know. It's not. I want to look at these wins that Sterling has gotten, especially off of the knockout he got in the Contender Series. I wouldn't count them out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't really look at
Right.
them as a bad way or anything. I still think this guy is a dangerous striker. I mean, he trains at a city kickboxing. Trains with Izzy. Um, my thing about this fight though is Sterling needs that knockout. He needs that knockout. You know what I mean? Against a guy like Bruno Lopez, who yeah, he got that finish on Contender Series, but I mean against a nobody. And I mean the first time he was on the Contender Series, he gets bitched by Brenison Ribeiro. Who the fuck
Yeah.
is Brenison Ribeiro? The dude who's been finished by everybody?
Mhm.
And then he goes and takes some fucking nobody to decision.
Yeah.
And then he fights a Dustin Jacoby, and Dustin Jacoby absolutely starches him. So it looks like when Bruno Lopez meets somebody with just a smidgen of fucking actual, like, I don't know,
Knockout power.
high, yeah, knockout power and like high level MMA, he's getting put to sleep. So yeah, my pick here is going to be Navajo Sterling. But I agree with what Joe said, especially with everything that we've been seeing. A decision, it's not that far out of the question here. So, but overall, my pick is going to be Sterling by knockout. Moving on to the next fight, we got the chicks again. Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. My pick is going to be the underdog, which is Gabriela Fernandez. As of right now, she is the underdog. My opinion, I just think Gabby's she's gonna be the bigger girl in this fight. Mass wise. I mean, she she lost, some of her losses, especially the one against Blada. It's not that good. I mean, the jazzy loss, that's understandable. I don't know. I think Gabby will I think she'll kind of drown Casey O'Neill here
Mm.
just a little bit. I don't think Gabby will like outclass O'Neal on the ground or anything. Um, I just feel like I think Fernandez will be the stronger fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. These girls aren't very, I mean, Casey O'Neal's not very active. Just reading over her record, I mean, you can see in 5 fights, she's only fought from 2021 to 2024. We're in 2026 now, by the way. Uh, you know, her last fight was a year and 7 months ago, and it was a good win. Luana Santos, at that point in her career, that's a good win for Casey O'Neill. Gabby
Yeah.
Fernandez, kind of on her side, she got the win over Carly Judice, which was a pretty impressive win a little over a year ago. That was early in the career of Carly Judice. Um, Same thing with Kong Wing, beat Kong Wing, kind of smoked her on the feet, and then found her way into a choke on the ground, and that was in Macau, I think. Um, and then gets a layup fight with Julia Stoliarenko. I mean, Gabby Fernandez looks the part. I mean, she is a very like if you look at her, she's pretty shredded. She's one of the stronger girls in this flyweight division. Just like looks wise.
You know,
It's kind of a tough ask. I think Casey O'Neill does carry some power in the hands, and I think Gabby Fernandez has to be careful of that.
one
What are you
thing
gonna
one
say?
thing I just wanted one thing I just wanted to mention in that Julie just Stolianko fight with Gabby Fernandez pieced her the fuck in. I
Mm,
remember that fight because I took Gabby by knockout because Julia has been knocked out multiple times,
mm,
and Gabby was just fucking toying with her. I remember that fight. I remember being pissed because I was like, you could literally just fucking bitch her right now. But
yeah.
Gabby did get gassed. I will say that she did get tired later into the fight when she couldn't find the finish. She did get fucking gassed.
Mm,
But overall, she was fucking piecing her in. She
yeah.
beat her up bad. So that is one thing I just want to mention real quick. Because I mean, compared to Casey O'Neill, who hasn't been fighting, her last fight was over a year and a half ago, like you had just mentioned. I don't know. Maybe Fernandez goes out there and hits her with a mean fucking combo real quick, and O'Neal's just she's out.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
Yeah.
overall, my pick is Gabby Fernandez.
Yeah, I got Gabby in this one as well. I don't know if I said that or not, but yeah, I think this one's gonna be close. I think the scorecards are gonna get involved with it. But with that being said, let's roll over into the next fight. We got the heavyweights, Marcin Tybura and Tyrell Fortune. Tyrell Fortune is making his debut coming off of Bellator PFL, and then Marcin Tybura is ready to get out of the UFC. He hasn't officially said it, but I feel like we're getting into that direction. He's 40 years old. He's fighting Tyrell Fortune, who is also not very young, making his debut at the ripe age of 35. It's a fight. It's a heavyweight fight, and I think this is one that we're gonna see a finish in. On the side of Tyrell Fortune, I mean, he has 17 wins. 11 of those are by knockout. Um, so we know he's athletic. We know he carries a lot of power in the hands. Uh, Tybura, less amount. He got walked down by Deliha, and then gets armbarred by Spivak in that main event a year and 7 months ago. Um, yeah, Tybura just doesn't look good. Last time out, he looked really, really big, looked really out of shape. Not something we're used to seeing with Tybura. Not that he ever gets shredded or anything, but he looked just really fluffed up in the midsection in that fight. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we see something good here. I want this card to kind of live up to how last year's Seattle was, and no better way to kind of get that ball rolling than with the heavyweight finish.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm hoping Tyrell Fortune just walks him down and makes quick work of it, gets the knockout and gets out of there.
Yeah, before I go into my breakdown, I got Tyrell Fortune. I am hoping to see a Fortune knockout in this fight, but one thing that does concern me is the leg kicks from Tybura.
Mm.
How is Fortune going to take those leg kicks?
Right,
You know what I mean? Because it's hard to compare some of the competition that a lot of these dudes fight outside of excuse me. Sorry. I
Mhm.
know Fortune has fought on PFL before. Um or he's fought a lot on Bellator. His last three fights are coming off of some other regional scene.
Yeah,
But other than that, I mean, we've seen dudes with a lot of Bellator fights under their belt come into the UFC and get bitched. I mean, Patchy Mix. Am I comparing Patchy Mix to a Tyrell Fortune? Kind of, just a little bit, just because they're both coming from Bellator. But I
mm,
mean, completely different fighters. Completely different fighters, completely different weight class. So overall, though, yeah, it leads me to my worry is how is Fortune going to take, the leg kicks coming from Tybura? Is he faced shit like that coming from
right.
some of the other fights that he's been in? Overall, though, I see Fortune kind of overwhelming Tybura the same way Delija did, and landing some nasty fucking haymakers coming from left, coming from right, coming up, down, whatever. I see Fortune going out there and absolutely bitching Tybura. So
One thing I'll add on to this fight. Tibera is ranked number 8 in the UFC rankings. Tyrell Fortune's debuting. If you come in and you pull off that, which right now the odds have it damn near pick 'em. I mean, it says they're both minus money. It just means to pick 'em. Um, if Tyrell Fortune does that, I mean, it's a good start. Like I said, he's 35. He's already on the back end of the career, age wise, because like I said, like prime usually ends around 30, 34, 35. Um, and then you're kind of just
yeah.
like fighting with every skill set you got, you know?
Bro, fuck, dude. The more I look at this fight, the more I get so worried. Like one thing I just looked at is like, yeah, look at Fortune's last three wins. Yes, he won all by finish. But let's look at the first one that started 10 months ago. Some dude named Marion Dennis, 20-12. The next one, Tony Lopez, 65
Damn.
and 32. And then his most recent one, 9-6.
Yeah, it's definitely tune-up fights while
And and
he's
just
outside of the
just
bigger promotions.
and just go and look at, all the competition that Tibera has fought in his last five.
All the cream of the crop for heavyweight right now.
Exactly. So I mean, the only thing that is that Fortune just goes into this fight with the mindset of this is just another fight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This isn't me stepping in and fighting this elite
Yeah.
fighter who is a ranked UFC contender. You know,
Mhm.
even though Tybura is 40 years old, he is still a ranked contender.
Yeah.
So,
Does that say much though for UFC heavyweights though? I don't know.
anyways,
My opinion of them is pretty shallow, but yeah, anyway.
yeah, I agree. I agree, especially this fucking year, bro. Anyways, let's get into the next fight, which I'm very excited for. Chase the Gooner Hooper versus Lance Gibson.
Oh.
I got Chase Hooper in this fight. I think he's gonna go out there and he's gonna fucking show Lance Gibson why Gooners
Guna number
are
1.
better, why they're number one. I think Chase Hooper's gonna go in there. I think he's gonna put it on Lance Gibson. I mean, yes, Chase Hooper, he's coming off that loss against Alexander Hernandez. That's not that's not that bad of a loss, in my opinion. You know, Chase Hooper, going into that fight, he had talked about he wanted to work on his striking, and I feel like he just had his mind on that striking, but
Yeah.
he chose the wrong fucking person, in my
Mm.
opinion. He chose the wrong person to try to demonstrate his striking on, which is a brawler,
A
Alexander Hernandez.
menace.
Yeah, and I mean, after that, Alexander Hernandez fight, which was Diego Ferreira, and he knocked out Diego Ferreira as well.
Yeah.
So and he was scheduled to fight Michael Johnson, which I'm sure he would have. Wait, did they fight?
No, no, 'cause that fight fell through because like the betting, people thought there was
Oh,
betting
that's
involved.
that's right. I'm sure Hernandez would have went out there and absolutely knocked out Michael Johnson because Michael
But
Johnson went in and got knocked out by fucking Drew Dober.
yes.
Anyways, we get Chase Hooper, Lance Gibson. Lance Gibson, he made his debut against Bobby Green, or my fault, King Green. King Green. Eh, is it a bad loss? No, but at the same time, I look at that performance that Lance Gibson had against King Green. Lance Gibson, what the fuck were you doing?
Couldn't hold a
Were
flight to King Green.
you didn't you allowed King Green to walk you down like that, and I was really surprised that that fight went to a split. It went to a split decision for King Green, because at the end of the day, King Green went out there and he absolutely bitched Lance Gibson.
Mhm.
Lance Gibson wasn't doing anything. He was just shelled up like this, while fucking Bobby Green just did the Bobby Green strut and just fucking walked him down. Like they're
Oh,
I
yeah.
I really hope Chase Hooper puts Lance Gibson out of here and destroys his dreams of being in the UFC, in my opinion. I think Chase Hooper is I feel really fucked up to say that, but Chase Hooper, I feel like, is obviously the better, or the more experienced fighter here.
Mhm.
Chase Hooper's pretty much grown up in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of fights in the UFC. He has a lot more experience than Lance Gibson here. I think um I think Chase Hooper will get it done by submission against Lance Gibson.
Yep, and it just bit off what you said. Chase Super, yeah, we've seen him growing up in the UFC, and really ever since he got knocked out by Steve Garcia, he's totally just became a more improved fighter. He was undefeated in lightweight division until he came up and fought Alexander Hernandez, and I think that game plan was pretty poor. Yes, I think he acknowledged his striking needed to improve, and like you said, it was just a bad fight. You chose a guy who slimed out Beneil Dariush and was pretty hot shit when he was younger in his career. I mean, Hernandez is what 33. I mean, he's still young technically, but uh, Lance Gibson fought King Green. I think it was a short notice fight, right? I wanna say it was.
It
I think
was a
Lance
short notice,
Gibson
I'm
was a
pretty
short
sure.
notice, I think. I think he was like a quick fill-in. Um, but he looked shredded as fuck like, he looks like a freak athlete, but, it's kind of a when you see these guys fight, you're gonna see two different body types. You're gonna see the one guy who's
Well,
shredded as fuck, and then the other guy who's just, like, flat stomach, no, like, six pack, just a skinny boy.
I don't know. I think my whole thing about it was like seeing Lance Gibson, before the fight with King Green, and then like seeing how much he wanted this fight and seeing what he can do in fights.
Mm.
And prior to it, he was only 9-1, and a lot of his
Yeah.
fights, Lance Gibson went on and finished himself.
Yeah.
So, that's one reason why I leaned on Gam Sant Jesus. One reason why I leaned on Lance Gibson in that fight. But then he goes out there and he gives that type of performance against Bobby Green. He gets absolutely walked down. Like, you were literally a deer in headlights.
Mhm.
Like, there was no question about it.
Yeah.
You were stuck, you know.
Right.
And that's what I saw. That's what a lot of people saw. Was it a split decision? Fuck no.
I thought it was pretty
You and
one-sided.
and and one thing I want to say too, you had your team. No, I'm not gonna get into. I One thing I saw too was a lot of the comments were ripping into Lance Gibson.
Yeah. He was pretty heavy on the betting
it-
side. A lot of guys were definitely trying to get money
yeah,
in on him.
but yeah, no, I will talk about it. He had his team celebrating the fact that he went to split decision with Bobby Green. That's not a celebration in my opinion. That's
Yeah,
that's not a
no.
celebration because it wasn't even a split decision. It wasn't even a split decision.
Yeah, no. I thought it was one-sided. It's one of those weird judge scorecards where it's like, really? Someone gave the fight to Lance Gibson when he was on the back foot the whole fight? But yeah, my pick in this one is Chase Hooper. I think he does get it done by decision, or it'd be a pretty solid submission win. I'm not sure what Lance Gibson's defensive grappling is going to look like. We know Chase Hooper is a very high level jiu-jitsu player, so we'll see how this plays out. Moving into the next fight, we got Ignacio Bahamondes and Tofik Musayev. Uh, I got Ignacio Bahamondes. Uh, I think the kickboxing that's on the side of Bahamondes, the length plays out very well, and, I think the longer this stays standing, the more likely the finish is gonna come for Bahamondes. I'm really hoping he does get a finish. Tofik, we know he's, like, a pretty good wrestler. I mean, he comes from an Azerbaijan background. I don't know what his Muay Thai game looks like or any of that, but he's older in his career right now. He's 36. Last time out, he got fucking smoked down by Mitsubek. This was at a catch weight. I think it was at 160. Let me look real quick. I think it was 160. So they were going up because Mitsubek couldn't make weight. Or not Mitsubek, Tofik couldn't make weight. Uh so that fight happened. He gets smoked down by Mitsubek, which isn't a bad loss whatsoever. We see Mitsubek, and I think he is going to be a problem the more he develops. I mean, he already is very elite wrestler, I feel like. Um, but I think Bahamondes, he beat Manuel Torres, and that is an insane win all in itself because Manuel Torres we know is the round one demon. A lot like I think what was it 15 or I don't. Do you remember how many wins it is for Manuel Torres in the first round? Like almost all those wins are first
Oh,
round.
yeah, it was almost all of those. All of those wins are in the first round. It's either
Yeah,
he's getting the first round or he got finished in the first round.
yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure this fight ended in the first round when he fought Ignacio Bahamondes.
Yeah, so it's a very impressive win. And he goes out and he fights Jalen Turner and beats him by a triangle choke. This was Jalen Turner's then at the time retirement fight before Jalen Turner came back and fought later. But then Bob Mondes gets kind of matched up with a Fiziev that is just I think is just he's just good, man. I think he's gonna be one of those guys who just forever hangs around the top 10 of lightweight. It's a tough ask for anyone that fights him. He's just so fucking fast, and his Muay Thai base is just really strong. Uh, you
And
know,
Roofy put him out. Roofy to put him out, but at the end of
y-
the day, everything you're saying is 100% true.
yeah. So I think as long as this fight, as long as Ignacio is pressing the pressure on Tofik and not fighting on the back foot, and even if it is betting on the back foot, I think his teeps will manage the range. I think Bahamondes is going to just be the guy who's doing a lot more in this fight. I think he will get it done inside the distance. Because yeah, he's just bigger. He's way bigger. I'm pretty sure. What was it size of 6'3" versus 5'9"? Has a 6-inch reach on him. Yeah, give me Bahamondes, man. I think this is gonna be a big win for him.
Yeah, 100%. I got Bahamondes. winning this fight as well. I think he could get it done inside the distance too. I mean, I don't really want to go over a whole lot. Joe pretty much covered it all. Bahamondes, I get really confused with him and Daniel Zellhuber, but now I know. Now I know which one is obviously the better prospect.
The one that doesn't
Which
lose is a
was
heavy favorite.
which is Ignacio Bahamondes. So I think Bahamondes can get it done. And I think he can get. I think he can get it done inside the distance as well. So let's forget about that, what just happened right there, and move on to the next fight, which is the main card opener. Terrence
Ooh.
McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. This one is most definitely going to be a banger. And I think Terrence McKinney's going to get it done. I think he's going to get it done in the first round. I think he's going to be fucking quick. Terrence McKinney inside the distance, round one. That is my pick for this fight. But in my opinion, though, if it sees the second round, it does favor Kyle Nelson. In my opinion, it does favor Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson, we just saw him go and fight Matt Frivola in Vancouver, and I mean, Kyle Nelson did knock out Matt Frivola. He TKO'd him. The referee stepped in with about like I don't know, it was like 5 seconds left, waved off the fight, and then he came back and he was like, "Oh, I didn't call the fight. I thought the round was just over."
I thought I heard the
So
bell.
Kyle Nelson proceeded to go out there and just piece in Matt Frivola, and then he got the decision win.
Yeah.
Overall, though, excuse me, this is gonna be a banger. Both these guys can fucking scrap. Terrence McKinney, he most definitely can throw hands, and he has the ground submission game. Kyle Nelson, though, his nickname, the Monster. That's literally what he is. He is a Canadian fucking beast.
Yeah.
He is like he's like Josh Emmett. He's like Josh Emmett in a way where he's just like one of those dudes where he has a lot of power and he could fucking scrap. Well, he's like Josh Emmett in the sense where he like spams overhands.
Yeah.
Um but Kyle Nelson does have some knockout power. He has power in his punches, but I think Terrence McKinney though, it's going to be the same thing. McKinney's fighting at home. He's going to have that buff. He's going to have that in the crowd. I think the crowds are gonna fucking explode when they see Terrence McKinney walk out.
Mm.
Um, give me Terrence McKinney by knockout.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna add much onto that. I think Terrence McKinney goes out there and he gets this one done. I think for both these guys, it's round one or bust. Just that's just the way McKinney fights. I mean, if it's not the first round, he's getting folded in the later rounds. It's kind of just how his career's been built, and I don't see that changing in this one. I think this is gonna be a car crash of a fight. I think these guys are gonna come hard. Pause. Uh,
What? What?
but yeah, Kyle Nelson this should be a knockout win. I mean, I think all that adrenaline just got dumped out of him after he thought he got the knockout win. And then you make him just continue to fight and try and knock out Favola again. It's kind of hard to do, I guess. Uh, yeah, I think McKinney can get this done. I think he's probably going to shoot a takedown quick. I think he's going to try and choke out Kyle Nelson. That's kind of my guess. I think we'll see a Terrence McKinney sub. Um, but yeah, not much to add here. I think we're just gonna get a lot of pop for the hometown guys. There's quite a few on this card, some of which we'll talk about coming up. Ricky Simone, we already talked about, but yeah, and Chase Hooper. But let's get to the next fight: Mansoor Abdul versus Year Three. Last time we saw Mansoor in person was Seattle. That was last year. So now we see him again. We saw him in Vancouver too, I think. No,
No, we didn't.
no, we didn't. We saw Usri in Vancouver. We fought Beckwith. Uh,
Yeah.
so this fight feels a lot closer than I think it's really written up. I mean, the odds have it priced pretty close as well. Uh, I don't know, man. The more I sit on it, I don't want to pig flip. I want to just stick to my gut for UFC Seattle, and I think I'm just gonna ride with Abdul Malik. He's been my pick just from the early get go. So my early lock is Mansoor. I think he's gonna go out there. I think his skill set is a little bit better. Um, he is gonna be the smaller fighter, but then again, everyone's gonna be smaller when you're looking at Usry. Usry's 6'6". I mean,
Yeah.
It does it's pretty hard to be bigger than that. But Mansoor, I mean, he's 9-0, and he's never seen the scorecards. All of those been by finish. Last time out, he choked Antonio Shirkley with a standing gilly, who we just saw go to a decision with Montas. If you guys didn't check that fight on our recap, go check it out if you want to go listen to that. He fought Nick Klein in Seattle. It was a short notice fill-in for Nick Klein, and Mansoor was originally supposed to fight Shirkley then, but then they made the fight later. Fought Cody Brundage, went to a majority decision. It's Cody Brundage. Put on a masterclass, of course. On the other side, Usury. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Uh, Lost to Marco Tulio in the Contender Series, which is not a bad loss. That's a pretty good loss in my opinion. Marco Tulio is not a bad fighter whatsoever. His last time out when we were in Vancouver, fought Asmat Bekuev, who has a pretty short reach and is kinda just like the guy who wants to, pressure fight you. Pretty hard to pressure fight a 6'6" kickboxer who, fought Alex Pereira, fought Izzy in Glory. Uh, and yeah, Usry just fucking melted him and, got him out of there by finish. So I mean, it's a tough fight. I mean, yeah, Mansoor is gonna have to mind his P's and Q's. I mean, he's got to find a way to get past the range of Usry, maybe find the hips and get on him. I don't know how well he's going to do on the feet. Reach wise, he does have the longer reach, which is pretty wild. He's got a 4-inch disadvantage, but his reach is longer. So we'll see how this one plays out. I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. But yeah, I got
Yeah,
Mansoor.
yeah. One thing I'm gonna say is off that last thing you just mentioned, the reach. That is gonna be the reason why I'm pick flipping in this fight, and I am pick flipping and choosing Mansour Abdul Malik to win this fight. Usually, he like fight, like you had mentioned, was against Bakoyev, but Bakoyev had those little T-Rex arms.
Hmm.
He had 72-inch reach, nothing compared to 80 to 79-inch reach. And
Yeah.
another thing I do want to mention is Mansour Abdul Malik. He is just strong as fuck. The way he bitched Nick Klein when he fought here in Seattle, just fucking just pushes him over and just gets on top of him and just bitches him, just absolutely bitches him. I think as soon as Mansour Abdul Malik will get inside of that reach and break that long distance that Usuri will probably be putting on. Because Usuri doesn't want any type of grappling. He doesn't want
Mm-mm.
any type of grappling here. I think Mansour, as soon as he grabs him, I think that'll pretty much be it. I think Mansour will be able to ragdoll him, especially with how tall he is. Um, yeah, give me Mansour Abdul Malik, either KO or sub. I really see Mansour getting it. I don't see this fight going to decision. I'm really glad to see though that the odds are this close.
Mm.
And Mansour isn't absolutely juiced out of his mind at minus 400 or minus 500,
Every time
like
we've
how he
seen him,
always been.
yeah.
Yeah, every time we've seen him, he's been a massive favorite leading up to his fight. So yeah, I got Mansour Abdul Malik. I'm officially pick flipping. I know I said something different on our quick picks, or if you had seen me say something different somewhere else, I am officially pick flipping here. But let's move on to the next fight, which is Giuliani Rosa versus Liran Douglas. Did I say his first name right? Liran,
That's probably how I would have said it.
Liran,
Larion. Yeah.
Larion. Anyways, I got Juicy J. I got Giuliani Rosa. I got the underdog fighting out of Yakima, Washington, fighting at home. I got Giuliani Rosa. But to be fair, I do say that with a little bit of caution because the dude he is fighting, Douglas, Leron Douglas, he is, I mean, exactly like his nickname says, he's a fucking gunslinger. He has some nasty knockouts. He has some nasty fucking looping hooks, looping strikes. Kind of the same way that Ilya Taporia does. He has those like kind of I don't know.
Mm.
His hooks and his like overhands are they're nasty, and he fucking throws them with mean intention. And Julian Rosa, he's been knocked out a lot of times. He's been knocked out a lot, um, but he also kind of fights like he hasn't been knocked out. Julian
Mm.
Rosa is a dog. Um, my biggest thing though is if Douglas can't get Erosa out early, I see Erosa absolutely bringing the dog out. And drowning Douglas in the later rounds. I mean, Julian Rosa just went to decision in his last fight with Mikel Costa,
Mm,
and we've all seen what Costa has been doing recently. He's been fucking putting dudes to sleep.
mm.
So yeah, I kind of feel a little confident here in saying Julian Rosa is going to be my pick. And I will say this, he's one of my underdogs of this week. So give me Juicy J. I got Juicy J getting it done at.
Yeah, yeah, Juicy J, he was my underdog, one of my underdogs of the week as well. Actually, I think he's my only underdog of the week. I haven't really decided yet. Um, but yeah, I think Arosa, if he's able to land early takedowns and really wear on the gas tank of Douglas, I think these later rounds are going to definitely favor Arosa regardless. If Douglas can't get him out of there early, round one, early round two, um, then I think we're looking at a Arosa takeover and, either just smothering him and drowning him, getting a late submission. Because Arosa, I mean, he is a, he does have quite a few submission wins, 14. It's pretty impressive. I mean, that fight with Costa, he landed some takedowns on Costa. Costa, we know, has some decent jiu-jitsu as well. We saw him in Seattle when he choked out Philly. Um, so we know that he's capable of, s- having some sort of game on the ground. Douglas, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what his ground game looks like, but reading his record, he does have two losses by submission. It's not a crazy shot to take a shot on a Rosa sub here, especially once his fight gets later. Arosa does fight pretty reckless. I mean, that's kind of why he's been knocked out a lot. He kind of fights with the hands down style, similar to Bobby Green, but just not as like flaunting and taunting, just more hands down. And I think he gets caught. And fighting a guy with a lot of knockout power, I think he's gonna respect it, and he's gonna just work to get him down. So give me the pretty wide underdog plus 240 right now. Um, so get it while it's hot. I mean, it's probably going to get wider as the week goes on. We'll see. But I think Arosa is very live as a dog in this one in his hometown.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, let's move on to the retirement fight. The fight that, crazy enough, this is probably one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most because Michael Chiesa just has one of the most like he's got a great career, man. I mean, he was an Ultimate Fighter winner. He's a guy from the PNW. Um, he's had a great career. He's worked on the broadcast team with the UFC for the last couple years. Um, and yeah, he's just an all around good guy. He's on a 3-fight win streak, and they were really pushing to get him on a card. His opponent fell through, so they got a very quick replacement, Nico Price. And by quick, I mean this dude just fought 6 weeks ago and got smoked out by Bertsenikov. So, I mean, Nico Price is probably just fighting for a check. I mean,
Hey,
that's
to be
crazy,
fair,
dog.
they're probably paying him a pretty penny. I mean, they're probably paying him well over, I would say, 20 grand for this
Yeah,
fight. Because I mean,
you
why
gonna
would you
step
accept this
in.
fight? Why would you
Yeah,
accept this fight after after 6 weeks?
yeah,
You just got knocked out.
yeah. Um, I think my worry is, was he training? Is the weight cut gonna look good? Is this gonna end up being a catch weight fight? I'm hoping not. We'll see what it looks like. I mean, this is a quick turnaround. One of the quicker ones we've seen coming off of a finish. Uh, but yeah, I think Michael Chiesa is gonna get the finish. I think he is
Oh,
gonna. I
100%.
think I think
100%.
I think his wrestling is one of the better skill sets um, for a fighter like him. I mean, when it's him standing kind of shit. His striking isn't the greatest, but get him on the ground. He is one of the better the ground game players. And I think if this goes to the ground, you can probably just already write this one off. I think Nico Price is fucking gonna be stuck in mud, and he's gonna get choked out quick. So give me
Yeah.
Chiesa to walk off into the sunset with his head held high on a 4-fight win streak and retire, and then get back on the broadcast team because I think him on the pre-show is pretty good.
Yeah, it really seems like when they have a legend in the sport about to make their retirement fight, Nico Price is the dude to call up. I mean,
Oh,
Robbie
you
Lawler
fought
got his
Robbie
TKO.
Lawler? Oh, fuck,
Robbie
that's
Law
right.
Robbie Lawler got his TKO finish off of Nico Price and rode off into the sunset and retired.
That's funny.
I think Michael Chiesa is gonna choke out Nico Price here and ride off into the sunset.
Bro, that's gonna be so
for his
loud for him.
retirement. I mean,
That's gonna be
look
so
at it,
loud.
look at it this way. You know, Nico Price, like we had just mentioned, 6 weeks ago, he gets knocked out by elbows and punches by Verchenikov. And you get a Michael Chiesa on his retirement fight. And I believe this is his first time fighting at home.
Second. He fought here like
Second
13 years
time?
ago, yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is his
And
second
he won
time
that too, I
fighting at
think.
home. Second time fighting at home, and this is his retirement fight. I am hammering everything on Michael Chiesa inside the
He's one of the
distance. I
locks.
mean, Michael Chiesa here, yeah, the energy is gonna be high. People are gonna be screaming, especially when they play his retirement video, when they show all of it after his fight. Yeah, Michael Chiesa is gonna go out there and get it done. Um, KO or sub, either or, Michael Chiesa is gonna get it done. So that's all I really have to say about that. But after this fight, we get a banger in the women's division for the co-main, which is a rematch. These girls fought before. Alexa Grasso won the first time, but Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber 2. And my opinion, I'm going with Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber will get it done against Alexa Grasso. I just don't think Alexa Grasso isn't really. I mean, I don't want to count out Alexa Grasso at all. I don't want to count her out at all. You know, for her 3 out of her last 5 have all been against Shevchenko.
Mm,
You know, in her last one, she loses against Natalia Silva, which Natalia Silva is cream of the crop.
yeah.
She is elite level MMA fighter. But you also get Macy Barber here, who when Macy Barber fought Alexa Grasso, she was still really young. She was still really young in her career, and ever since then, Macy Barber has evolved. I mean, she is riding a what is this, one, two, three, four? She's riding a 7 fight win streak, and some of the people that she's beaten, you know, are high level, high level.
Mm,
I think Macy Barber's gonna get out there and she's really gonna put her name in the hat of contenders of this division.
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
But
Alexa Grasso, was a f sorry, were you gonna say more? I didn't wanna
no,
cut you off.
I was just gonna say, so my pick here is gonna be Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber can get it done on the judges' scorecards.
And just to correct what I said earlier, Michael Chiesa did not win when he last fought in Seattle. He fought Jorge Masvidal in, like, 2013
Oh,
and got Darce choked. So, correction, he's 1 and 1, or he's 0 and 1, hopefully gonna be 1 and 1 after this weekend. But yeah, to build off of this fight, Alexa Grasso, former title holder before she got smoked out by Valentina the second time they fought. Got wet blanket treatment by Valentina. Valentina's kind of turning into one of those fighters, who kind of just kind of point fights. I mean, their last time out gets just outclassed on the feet by Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva, who I hold very highly. I think she could be a title holder. I think she could be a fun title holder. The other side, Macy Barber. Yeah, these girls fought already. I mean, I'm sure you mentioned all that. Macy Barber, she's only 27. These girls fought when she was super young. It's kind of the same thing we were talking about with Alexa Tainara and Bruna Brazil. I think just where they are right now, I think the age is just catching up to Alexa Grasso. 32 years old, but when you look at like a lot of these fighters who she's kind of like a Andrade, she kind of had the quick early peak. And I think Andrade is the same age as Grasso, and she doesn't look the greatest anymore. She's fighting all these up and comers. Uh, I think it's going to be the same sort of thing. I think we're going to see Macy Barber go out there, get a unanimous decision, get either a title shot. I mean, I was looking at the rankings real quick right now. Uh, Alexa Grasso is ranked number 3. Macy Barber is ranked number 5. A win for Barber here, more than likely, gets her name tossed into the hat with Natalia Silva to fight Valentina. At worst, they reset up the matchup with Macy Barber and Aaron Blanchfield, where that main event fell through last year. And that will be the fight where they were like, okay, You're not fighting Alexa Grasso for three of a two loss win streak, losing streak. You're gonna go fight Aaron Blanchfield, who has just a good record as you now, and has just as long of a win streak. Let's set that up to be our fight to make, while Natalia Silva goes fight Valentina, and then winner of that gets that for the next title shot. That's not a bad idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think Macy Barber gets this done. I think her wrestling is gonna be the determining factor. I think her striking output is also really good. She carries a lot of power. She has quite a few finishes on her record. Um, I think she's just gonna be better all around. I think wherever it goes, I think it's gonna favor her. So yeah, give me Macy Barber on this one. Moving into our main event. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and drop a like on the video, comment, share. We appreciate it. Yeah, this is gonna be big, man. If you're going to UFC Seattle, let us know. We're gonna be there. Maybe we'll do a little meet and greet, say what's up. Uh, really appreciate it. With that being said, let's get into it. This is gonna be a fucking fun fight, dude. This is I'm surprised it's a fight night main event because it really shouldn't be. It should be better, but I think we're lucky. UFC Seattle, man. I mean, doesn't get much better than this. We get the return of Israel Adesanya coming out of his little short break. You know, he's lost 4 of his last 5, 3 in a row, but they're all not bad losses. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya. You know, he's already a legend. He's got a big legacy in UFC. All these guys are kind of catching him on the downside of his career, what we think is the downside. I mean, all these guys are just young. All these guys are hungry. He lost a DDP. After that, loses the sniper Imavov, who he just outclassed him quick on the feet. It's just one of those things that happens. But that's the thing I'm gonna talk about. As I say, my pick is Adesanya. You know, like I said, he's already made a legacy. He's already a legend in the sport. That's just what we know already. Um, what one thing I'm gonna talk about is on the side of Pyfer. We know what Pyfer is gonna do. Pyfer is gonna come forward quick in these early rounds and put the pressure on Izzy and try and put him in a body bag. That's just what it is, right? Uh, what I don't think we're gonna see is Pyfer excel in the takedowns. If he does try to get to Adesanya's hips, I don't think he's gonna be able to succeed. Just numbers wise, Adesanya defends at a really high clip, takedown wise. Pyfer has a really shit takedown offense. He's got like a 25% takedown offense. So his takedowns aren't the greatest when he gets you down. I mean, it's like a 1 in 4. It's very low chance he does get you down. The one time we saw him in a 5 round fight was Hermanson, and Hermanson won that. And you know, now we see that that's pretty bad loss, after what we've seen in the career of Hermanson after that fight. Izzy, like I said, I think when you take long breaks like that after you're getting just walked down 3 fights in a row, um, you know, sometimes it's best to just step away for a bit, kind of get your body right, get ready for what's next. Because if Izzy loses, I think he's already kind of made it kind of not known, but I think it is kind of a known thing for like a lot of UFC fans. If he loses, he's probably gonna be done. He's probably just gonna retire. I think he's gonna be like, yeah, you know, all these young bucks, they just got one up on me. I mean, there's no reason for me to fight for money. I can go fight for money outside of the UFC if I
Yeah.
lose. You know, it's one of those things where if he wins, okay, if I can beat a young up and comer, then maybe I can make another run at the title. But if I lose, then I'm clearly just done. 4 in a row. You know, 5 of my last 6 have been losses or whatever. Yeah, I think this is kinda just a spot where you gotta be on the Adesanya side just for the legacy, just for the hopes that, you know, I don't wanna see 2 retirement fights in Seattle. Michael Chiesa is enough. It would be insane to see Adesanya retire in Seattle. Um, I mean, it would be a moment that we would remember forever, but it's not something that I really wanna see. I wanna see more of him. But, yeah, that's all I got. I think Adesanya gets this done by decision. I think if it gets in the later rounds, I think he's just gonna be the better point fighter, and I think it's gonna be Pyfer starting to gas out and his gassing wearing out later in this fight.
Yeah. Um, I don't think if Izzy were to lose this fight, I don't think he'll retire. I don't think he'll retire in Seattle. I mean, come on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't think Izzy would be
Well,
like,
what would be next
"Yeah,
for him? What would
I'm
you make
gonna."
for him after this, you know? Like fight wise, there's not much for him. I think he'd really just be out of the rankings, right? Or he'd be damn near.
I don't think he'd be out of the rankings, but I don't know, man. I think they'd give him something
Well,
else.
he's number 4.
I don't
Pfeiffer's
I
14.
don't yeah, I don't know. But my pick in this fight is Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer can get it done. I think he'll go in there and I think he'll put pressure on Izzy. I think Pyfer has learned from that Hermanson loss. I'm sorry, my cat is
Going crazy?
like Mozzie is sprinting on the cat wheel. This is the first time I've seen Mozzie run on the cat wheel like that, and he is full on sprinting.
Going to
Sorry.
town. Hell yeah.
Um, I got Joe body bags Pyfer though. I think Joe Pyfer will go in there. I think he'll put the pressure on Izzy. Um, the last time we've seen a fighter go first on Izzy, I mean, yes, I'm not comparing. Okay, I shouldn't have said that because it sounds like I'm comparing Imavov to Pyfer. But yeah, Pyfer or Imavov went first against Izzy
Mm.
and put him out. I mean, if Joe Pyfer can do the same, yeah, obviously he could possibly put Izzy out. But that's the thing though, is how compromised, is that shin from Izzy?
He's been dropped 3 fights in a row. All three of these were where he got dropped. He got dropped by Sean, got dropped by Dricus, and then got dropped by Imavov.
Exactly. And yes, those three fighters are obviously they're top five in this division right now. I mean, Strickland's going and fighting Hamza right now, which is fucking insane to me. But Joe Pyfer has that power as well. Yes, that Hermanson loss is bad. Yes, it is bad. It is not a good look. But I believe Joe Pyfer has learned from that. I believe Joe Pyfer has evolved from that. I mean, he easily could have finished Kevin Gastelum if he if
Yeah,
he chose
shit.
if he chose not to or farm on him and let him stand up and then allow Kevin Gastelum to fucking
Recover.
restore, yeah,
Yeah.
recover and restore and fucking get used to the power. I mean, Joe Pyfer dropped him multiple times, but Pyfer didn't want to follow up on any of that. I am hoping that in this fight, Joe Pyfer will have that kind of blood in the water type of instinct
Mm.
whenever he eventually does hurt Izzy, cuz that's the thing about Izzy though, bro, is like there's so much footage for Joe Pyfer to go and watch with Israel Adesanya. I mean, even back in his glory kickboxing days. I mean, you can go and watch footage from then, but Israel Adesanya has so much footage in the UFC. You could really study and learn a lot off of that. And at this point of his career, do we really see Israel Adesanya trying to change anything up? I mean, these last few fights, he's always said something different.
Mm.
I fascinated.
He froze, guys. One sec. You're good.
Uh, sorry,
You froze.
sorry.
You're good.
Hell, yeah, hella frozen my end. Do we really see Israel Adesanya changing it up? At this point of his career, trying something different. And like I said before, or like I was trying to say, is Israel Adesanya before all of these fights, he's always said something. He's always said something different that he's gone back to his roots. He said that for the Imava fight, and then what happens?
Yeah.
When he fought against Strickland, he was like I'm gonna put the fucking dog collar on you. I'm gonna dog walk you. I'm gonna make it look easy. This is a hard fight, but I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna make it look easy. He said all this against Strickland, and then what happens? Strickland goes out there and dog walks him, and then he gets the fight against DDP, and the whole thing was fucking DDP was fake was fake African. Israel
Uh,
was like, you're not my brother, you're not my brother. So Israel was trying to build up all this hype, against DDP, and then what happens? DDP fucking drops him and then submits him. And then, like I
Plot
just said,
armor.
against the Imava fight, Israel was like, I'm going back to my roots. And then he gets knocked out. So I'm curious on how Israel is going to see himself going into this fight, what version he is coming up with, because it seems like he's coming up with a different version of himself every time he comes in fights, ever since he lost to Alex Pereira.
Mm.
I mean, It would be great. It would be great to see an Israel Adesanya come out here and get the win over Joe Pyfer and maybe make another run at the title. You know, maybe
Mm,
maybe fight DDP or fight Strickland again. Some fight like that. I don't know. But I just think Joe Pyfer being the young contender, being the young blood, um, having the type of strength that Joe Pyfer has, and having more ways to win this fight, Joe Pyfer,
mm.
in my opinion. Because like I was just talking about, what is Israel Adesanya is he has one way to fight, you know,
Yeah.
and at this point of his career, is he going to mix that up? Is he going to try to bring something new to the table? And even if he does, even if Adesanya were to go to fucking Dagestan for 6 months prior to this fight, would that really help him? Maybe a little bit. Israel Adesanya is a former champ who has multiple title defenses. You know, he is a high IQ level fighter, high skill, high level MMA fighter. You know, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, he has one level. He has one set of he has one set or one style of
Mm.
fighting, is what I'm trying to say. He has one style of fighting that is cemented into him, which is kickboxing. Joe Pyfer, on the other hand, he has other weapons in his back pocket. So that is just all the reasons why Pyfer in this fight. I had to give a little bit of a more deeper breakdown, especially for this being the main event.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I got Joe Pyfer, man. I got the underdog to win this fight. It would be so fucking. It's already insane talking about this fight and no.
Knowing we're gonna be watching it live. I filled in
Yeah, I'm
for you, don't you
sorry.
worry.
I'm sorry. I froze up again. It is just insane knowing that. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing this fight live,
Mm.
and I really hope that this main event fucking is so
It
much better than
delivers.
it delivers way more than last year's event,
Yeah.
because last year's event was poo. So
Yeah.
I'm glad the UFC was like, Seattle is the place that we need to be, and we're gonna deliver next time we come here.
Yeah.
And who were to think they were gonna fucking come back literally the next year?
Yeah. Matchmaking wise for this, okay, so you're looking at Izzy, he's number 4, Pyfer number 14. With a win for Pyfer, I think you set him up with the winner of the Brendan Allen Edmund Shabazian fight because that fight is happening kind of soon. Or you get him ready to go fight Kaio because I don't know what's going on with DDP. I thought DDP and Brendan Allen were gonna fight, but then DDP kind of is just waiting for something. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe they're gonna do DDP and Imavov because they're doing Strickland and Hamzat. So there's a lot of weird things going on in the top of the middleweight. But I think they do set something up for Pyfer to get one more fight before he gets his name tossed in the hat for a title shot. If
Yeah.
he does get a win over Izzy with a win, I think you turn him around and you have him fight what? I don't really know. I think you gotta get him on the fast track to a title shot just because it's Izzy. I think the name value is like, you don't want this guy hanging around now with a title shot next to his name.
Well, yeah, but then like it just sucks because like it holds up that's another thing that sucks too, is that we have Hamzat. We have
Mhm.
Hamzat as the champ, and who knows if Hamzat is gonna fight again after he fights Strickland this year. You know,
Yeah.
are we gonna get another fight come December, come November, later into the. So that's another thing that kind of holds it up is Izzy's last three fights are against dudes who are well deserving of the title shot right now.
Mhm.
Imavov, DDP, and Strickland, who is already fighting for the title. So it really does suck, and that's one of the main reasons why you'll see any of us betting against any of these Russian heavy wrestling fighters is because of this. Like, imagine Mosvar gets the belt against Volkanovski. This is probably what we're gonna see. Is a lot of fucking traffic, a lot of backup, and a lot of these fighters who are so deserving of that title shot. but we have some dude who is holding it up, but he's holding
And
the
it's
current
fighting
belt,
once a year.
fighting once a year. I mean, like I said, who knows if I'll fight again. Oh, I got fucking blue screen, but
Blue.
that's pretty much all I have to say about this card.
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ, fucking flashbang. I'm very excited. Me and Joe are very, very excited. Like we've said multiple times already, we are going to
Like
be
little kids in the
attending.
candy store.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be holding hands around the stadium. We're gonna ditch our girlfriends and we're
Mhm,
gonna go
mhm,
buy
mhm,
our merch for each other,
mhm, mhm.
buy drinks for each other. We're gonna interlock arms like this.
We're actually gonna
Um,
trade seats because we're not sitting next to each other. We're gonna trade seats and sit together.
Yep.
Mhm,
So,
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. With that being said, though, that's it for our early locks for UFC Seattle. We'll have our final locks Friday, so stay tuned for that. And if you made it to the end of the video, we appreciate you for watching. Because yeah, this is an exciting one, man. It's local for all our PNW guys who do watch. I mean, this is a big one. This is as big as it gets for a PNW event.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so yeah, appreciate you guys. With that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay cozy. Peace.